Alright, so using the asynchronous memory, it means that the thinking models, the open reasoning models like Deepseek-R1, are actually able to be used in a more timely manner for getting outputs. So I thought, why don't we take Deepseek-R1 for a spin? I've got Gemma 3 4B on the back-end models, which I found are very good. And I'm going to update the system prompt here. For your psychologist, respond in 60 words or less, responses only, drive the conversation forward, work with the clients to set a goal, and all those for it to be actually a productive session. And let's clear all memory, clear the conversation, and let's go from there. Hello. I wanted to come and talk about a struggle I'm having. All right.
Thank you for sharing that with me. Let's work towards your well-being. Can we set a goal for our discussion today to help focus this conversation? Once we have a clear idea, I'll do my best to provide helpful insights and strategies as we navigate through it together. Are there any specific things you'd like to see change or achieve?
Well, that was a bit longer than 60 words. That's all right. Yeah, I'm just having a real struggle at the moment as to how to have a conversation with my father about going to Queensland. Full stop. He wants me to go to Queensland to visit the family, but I just don't really want to.
Okay, thanks for sharing that struggle. Let's focus on having that conversation effectively. How about we work together to set a goal? What would be your desired outcome when you talk to your father?
Well, I guess that he wouldn't get angry with me when I say I don't want to come to Queensland.
We'll focus on understanding how you want this conversation to unfold, aiming for a positive outcome regardless of whether you ultimately agree or disagree with him about Queensland.
Okay, that sounds good.
Excellent. Let's work together to define what we hope to accomplish today in this discussion with your father about Queensland. We want you to feel confident managing the actual conversation once it happens. My goal is to equip you with strategies to navigate it successfully, whether he accepts or declines politely and firmly. What specific outcome would help you most right now? Let's focus on that target together.
So I have found when I ask it to have a target or a goal, it does sometimes just get stuck on defining the goal, working on that goal, rather than actually making the goal, then working through it. So I wonder if I should work with to set a goal. Once a goal has been set, I'm going to make this more explicit. Work towards that goal throughout the session. Let's make it really explicit. Don't keep setting new goals unless required. If you and the client feel that the goal has been reached, achieved, bring the session to a close. Alright, so we should be able to continue from there, and it will be fine. As I said, I want to be able to tell my dad I don't want to go to Queensland, and so he doesn't get angry, full stop. I have too much work to do.
Okay, let's focus on that goal. To decline your father's invitation regarding Queensland travel by explaining you have too much work without him getting angry, we'll explore how to frame too much work effectively and practice what you might say. This will help you manage the conversation as planned. Let's begin working on this specific outcome now.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's explore how you might frame that work commitment effectively. Tell me a bit more about what too much work means for you right now.
Well, I've got a project due like the week after the weekend that he wants us all to go to Queensland.
Okay, let's stick to our goal. You want to decline going to Queensland without angering your dad. How can you frame your work commitment effectively? You mentioned having a project due soon. Tell me more about that specific commitment and why it conflicts with the trip.
I just told you the project is due the week after the weekend he wants us all to go to Queensland. Full stop. I don't feel like you're listening. It is interesting when it kind of chooses when to listen and not.
Okay, that's completely understandable. Feeling heard is crucial. Let me restate my focus. We are working together to find a way for you to decline the Queensland trip without angering your father. That specific project deadline, due the week after, seems like a key point we need to frame carefully. To help with this, could you tell me more about the project? What is it specifically, and why does its timing conflict so directly with their planned visit?
That's so interesting how it's not able to interpret that the week after the weekend suggests that the weekend is a pressure. I mean, there could be underlying issues like family conflict and that sort of thing, that this project is actually just a distraction. I don't know, maybe the psychologist is actually 5 steps ahead of me and is going that. Let's look at the memories. Acknowledging user's feeling, empathy, shifting towards more collaborative emotions, user feeling frustrated, anxiety, need for validation, reflecting desire for active listening. Now focus on addressing user's expression to be heard. Time frame undetermined. Yeah, so it knows that the project is due the week after the weekend, but it doesn't seem to understand that that is a conflicting point. Let's press it, see what happens. I don't get why you don't understand that the project is due straight after the weekend. Full stop. And I will need the weekend to rest, not go to Queensland.
I understand you're feeling frustrated about how your rest time conflicts with the project deadline just after the weekend. That sounds incredibly stressful, especially knowing the Queensland trip is involved.
I know, and that's why I don't want to go to Queensland. Oh, run into a memory queue. When it goes yellow, that means that it's still trying to process the memory in the background. But after it has processed the memory, then it will process the next message here. Sometimes it runs...
Okay, let's clarify that goal. We agreed you need to balance your rest time before the weekend with the project deadline just after. My earlier validation was about acknowledging the stress from both points. The challenge remains, how do you manage this without cancelling the Queensland trip? Or does it relate differently? What specific aspect of the balancing act are we focusing on today?
I want to cancel the Queensland trip. I don't want to go to Queensland.
Okay, let's clarify your feelings. You want to cancel the Queensland trip because you don't want to go. That sounds like a direct solution based on your desire not to attend.
Okay, so it's clearly getting stuck. Let's, I don't know, do a couple more messages. I want to cancel the Queensland trip because I don't want to hang out with my family. Full stop. Yes, it's a direct solution, but I know it's going to make my dad angry. I'm here to get help about how to tell my dad without making him angry. Oops. To be without making him angry. That's all right.
Okay, let's focus here. Your main concern seems to be how to communicate the cancellation effectively with your dad about family reasons. Our goal for today is to brainstorm an assertive and kind way to explain your need to cancel, focusing on your feelings without blaming him. Let's work together to refine that approach so you can feel confident in having this conversation later. How do you think we should start?
I don't know, you tell me. Let's be passive. Make them do the work.
Okay, let's work towards that. We need to find a way to express your desire clearly and kindly while acknowledging his feelings too. How about starting by saying something like, "Dad, I was really looking forward to our trip to Queensland, but it's not working for me right now because I feel uncomfortable being away from the family."
But that wouldn't be telling the truth. Full stop. I wouldn't be looking forward to going to the trip to Queensland. Is it suggesting I lie? It's not a very ethical psychologist.
Okay, that clarifies your feelings well. Honesty is important, but phrasing it kindly acknowledges his perspective too. Let's work towards communicating this clearly. Goal: to express your lack of desire for the Queensland trip in a truthful yet considerate way to avoid conflict with your dad. Let's focus on finding the right words and tone for that conversation about cancelling the trip based on your feelings, which aren't looking forward but may feel uncomfortable.
Yep, that sounds good.
Excellent. Let's frame your honest lack of excitement in a kind way so you can communicate it effectively, while still considering his perspective.
Sure, what would you suggest? Buffering. It is still queued, still waiting. It's definitely...
Okay, let's try this phrasing together. How about you start with something like, "I really appreciate you planning the trip to Queensland and thinking of me. I know it means a lot to you." Then continue by honestly sharing that as much as you're excited for the adventure itself, the thought of relocating during Dad's busy time is causing some real anxiety for me. Would this feel authentic while being kind?
It's my busy time, not his busy time. He just does whatever he wants when he feels like it, but doesn't ever think about me and my work that I have to do.
I hear you. It's frustrating feeling unconsidered. That explains why cancelling during your busy time might feel necessary now. Let's build on our previous goal, finding a way to say no gently while acknowledging his enthusiasm for the trip.
All right, we'll pause that there. I mean, it's really being quite shallow. It's getting caught on the incredibly problem-based goal, which I guess is good, but it's not considering anything deeper, any possibilities of family conflict and that, which could be the real reason why someone doesn't want to go on a family trip. It's getting there though. It's progress. We'll call it progress. Stay subscribed. See what we can do.